Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where teachers can save 5% every day. Download the Safeway app and verify your teacher status for exclusive offers and discounts. Get started at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Have you read Life of Pi? There's a Broadway performance of it happening in Denver this month. I'm pretty excited to go see it because I actually learned English by consuming a bunch of media in English. And Life of Pi was the first adultish book I ever read in English, so it holds a special place in my heart. We'll tell you what other Broadway shows you can look forward to in a little bit. I'm Arlo Pérez Esquivel. Also coming up, Colorado is going nuclear. That is, if lawmakers get their way.
These new reactor designs appear a lot safer than designs of the past, but there's always a risk of meltdown.
Then, driving to the airport is getting slower and slower. So what should we do about it?
I'm at 700 emails, and most of them are from this.
And some Colorado federal employees could go back to work.
Federal workers really don't know what they should do next.
It's Thursday, March 20th. Here's the news in Colorado today. When I say the word nuclear, you might think about radioactivity or even a mushroom cloud. But Colorado lawmakers want you to associate it with clean energy. A bill adding nuclear power to Colorado's definition of clean energy resources just passed the state legislature. Its approval shows policymakers are open to a nuclear energy renaissance, but not everyone's on board. CPR's Sam Brash is here to help us break this atom apart. Sam, what does this bill do?
So like you said, it classifies nuclear as a clean energy resource under Colorado law. That means it could someday count towards the state's renewable energy goals, and it might be eligible for local grants previously earmarked for wind and solar. But it's also meant to send a signal to private industry that Colorado is open to new ideas for nuclear power plants.
Now, historically, nuclear power has had a stigma. What do you think lawmakers and maybe the public in general are warming up to it now?
Yeah, we know about that stigma right here in Colorado. The state's one and only nuclear power plant, it closed back in 1989 after Chernobyl. Here's what's changed since then. The U.S. has had flat electricity demand for years, and that's now just surging because of AI data centers, electric cars, new factories. Wind and solar are a great way to meet that demand a lot of the time, but what they can't do is provide base load power that, provides energy to the grid all the time, 24 hours a day. Nuclear power plants could be a great way to do that in the same way coal power plants do it now.
These new nuclear power plants, do they look like the old ones, the hulking ones that we're familiar with?
Probably not. There's been a lot of interest in something called small modular reactors. These are small enough that you could literally fit them on a truck bed. These are systems that could be built in a factory and then shipped to a power plant site. And then it might be possible to string these reactors together. So if energy demand rises, you just add more of these reactors.
Could these get built in Colorado anytime soon?
I think that's really up in the air right now. There's been a lot of buzz in the last few years about building a nuclear power plant in Pueblo. That's because Comanche Station, which is the state's biggest coal-fired power plant, is scheduled to close in 2031. Some local leaders would love to see advanced nuclear tech fill that void. Unions are really into that idea too because it would secure future employment for their members who currently work at the coal plant.
And to tie this back to what you said, nuclear expansion in Colorado could get a boost if this bill goes through and is classified as clean energy. But environmentalists do not think nuclear power should count as clean. How come?
Environmental advocates are worried about safety. These new reactor designs appear a lot safer than designs of the past, but there's always a risk of meltdown and different contamination issues. There's also radioactive waste that has to be stored somewhere. The other big problem is that nuclear energy is still just really expensive, especially compared to wind and solar. And environmental advocates say that nuclear energy is just a really bad bang for their buck.
Sam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, this bill did clear the legislature. It is unclear whether it will become a law or not. A coalition of environmentalists and other progressives just sent Governor Polis a letter asking him to veto it. Before that letter, Polis had told CPR he worries about the high cost of nuclear energy, but that if those costs were to come down, he thinks that they could help Colorado with its ambitious climate goals. Flying isn't fun, but for many Coloradans, the worst part of the trip is getting to the airport. That could be changing. A proposal to potentially overhaul the main highway to Denver International Airport cleared its first vote in Denver City Council yesterday. For years, the debate has been over whether to widen the road or invest in public transportation. Denverite's Paulo Shalcedo was in the building for yesterday's decision, and he's here to fill us in. Paulo, can you tell us exactly what the City Council is voting on?
Yeah, to be clear, this was actually a decision from the Business, Arts, Workforce, Climate, and Aviation Service Committee, so not the full City Council.
Quite a mouthful.
It is. They were voting on whether to approve a $15 million contract that would be a huge step in potentially expanding Peña Blvd. Arlo, you've flown before, I'm sure. You know that traffic is awful on that main road in and out of the airport. Oh, yeah. So Denver airport officials basically asked the city council to award $15 million to a consulting group that would study how to alleviate traffic.
And how did the committee vote?
They voted 5-1 with one abstaining vote. And that was a bit surprising considering how the last committee meeting went. The decision was delayed for 2 weeks because council members took so much time grilling airport decisions that they didn't even have time to cast a vote. So going into yesterday's meeting, it felt like the committee was pretty divided.
And what were some of the issues that they had?
A number of people, both council members and constituents, just really don't want to invest in more car-first transportation. Here's Council President Amanda Sandoval.
I'm at 700 emails, and most of them are from this. I don't think I've gotten one email so far to support this contract.
The city and county of Denver has big climate goals, and it's already a really car-centric city. People that opposed this resolution wanted to see more resources devoted to things like RTD's A-Line, maybe more parking ride stations and bus lines dedicated to parts of the city that aren't connected to commuter rail.
So then what comes next?
Now that it's clear committee, the $15 million proposal will go to the full city council for a vote. That should happen in the next few weeks. And to be clear, a big part of the money for this proposal will go towards studying the environmental impact of potential expansion.
Give me an idea of what this will look like. Is it just a road with more lanes in Peña?
Well, it could be, but there are also other options. They could add a bus-only lane, for example, or build a frontage road that would at least take the local traffic off of Peña, or they could make it a toll road. It's also possible that the consulting group could recommend a different alternative after they finish the study.
Paulo, thank you so much.
Of course.
Federal workers in Colorado are confused right now. Between court decisions and emails from Washington, they don't know if they have jobs or not. CPR's Sarah Mulholland listened in as about 100 federal workers got advice from the state labor department yesterday. Sarah, can you explain further what the confusion is among federal workers?
So a lot of Colorado's federal workers might be going back to work after being fired in the past month or so. And that's because 2 federal courts ruled last week that those firings were probably illegal and that those workers have to be rehired. But the problem is a lot of workers haven't gotten any communication yet about whether they're going back to work, when they're going back to work. Are they still going to get paid? So that's just creating a whole bunch of confusion, and federal workers really don't know what they should do next.
Yeah, that really does sound complicated. Sarah, people used to love federal jobs because they were stable. Even if they did offer them back, would people take them now?
A lot of people are hesitant to take their job back because they figure they're just going to get fired anyway. So why would they bother going back to work, especially because they're concerned that if they go back to work, that might complicate their ability to collect unemployment insurance?
Oh, so they qualify for unemployment right now?
They do qualify for unemployment, but there were tons of questions during this town hall that the state's labor department held for federal employees about what to do if you lost your job, started collecting unemployment benefits, and now have been reinstated. What happens? Do you continue filing for unemployment? Do you have to pay back the money that you've already collected from unemployment? And what the state says is, the big takeaway was that given all the uncertainty right now, it never hurts to file for an unemployment claim. So definitely file your unemployment claim. And if it turns out that you need to give some of that money back because you're getting back pay, the state can handle that. Just go ahead and file your unemployment claim.
Sarah, thank you so much for clearing things up.
Thanks.
There will be another virtual town hall from the Colorado Department of Labor today. And if you are a federal worker wondering what to do, Sarah's piece can help you. Check it out in the link in our show notes. Imagine a glowing orange tiger prowling across the stage and then leaping into a theater-shaking roar. That could be your reality this month.
It was just kind of a magical thing because the puppetry was just absolutely marvelous.
My colleague, Alejandro Alonso Galba, just saw the Life of Pi Broadway show in Denver.
Especially the tiger, the moment it comes on stage, it's just this glowing orange. It takes 3 people to run it, and you don't even realize there's 3 people running it because it's so just kind of immersive and beautiful.
He's not the only one who liked it. The Life of Pi won 3 Tonys. The show only runs till the end of this month, but if you don't see it for some reason, don't worry. The next season of shows at the DCPA just got announced as well. Denver's actually one of the first places you can often see a Broadway show when it goes on the road.
DCPA 2025, 2026. Oh my gosh.
Alice's reaction is certainly what the theater wants to hear.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so immediately things that jump out. I will definitely see Harry Potter. I mean, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I read the books as a kid. Just to see how they take the magic of a book like that and put it on stage. How are they going to make the wizards fly and do their magic? That's going to be really fun. Gotta see The Outsiders. I mean, that is a classic film that has been adapted to the stage. The Lion King is coming. Obviously, gotta see that again. Christine! Phantom of the Opera.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Dr. Seuss is coming. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is coming.
There are 22 shows on the list for the 2025-2026 Broadway season at the DCPA. See the full list in CPR's weekly Art Spotlight. Find the link in our show notes. CPR's Lauren Antonoff Hart writes the Art Spotlight each week. Come back tomorrow for more news from around the state and tell your friends about Colorado today. I'm Arlo Perez Esquivel. This is CPR News.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Safeway, where pharmacists can fill your pet's prescriptions, helping you pamper and protect your pet with pills, peanut butter, toys, and treats. Stop into the store today or visit Safeway.com.
Support for Colorado Today comes from Credit Union of Colorado. With access to over 30,000 ATMs and a mobile app, they're dedicated to offering the services of a big bank with a heart. Learn more at honestlygood.org.